Hello, this is Diana Castro, and you are watching Leaders with a Mission. And today I have an extraordinary businesswoman who I would like to introduce to you. Her name is Maria Lecuyer. Maria Lecuyer is a revenue-driven business architect and mentor. She is the author of Prescription to a Personal Breakthrough, Powerful Woman in the Modern World, and a co-author of The Magic of Manifesting. As a speaker, Maria enjoys inspiring and mentoring women to become their best self. Her main focus is growing revenue for businesses looking to get more sales and to create passive income. Thank you, Maria, for being here today.
Well, I love being here, and of course, I've always liked spending time with you.
I love the fact that you come from a corporate world. Can you give us a little insight into your past history?
Yes, when I graduated from school, I had a pharmacy degree and I started working as a pharmacist. And I was one of those lucky ones. I did get promoted throughout the years. So the past 30 years of my life, I've been working in corporate America as a top executive. And I actually became one of the first female top executives, pharmacists for the company. So I definitely know what it's like to be in a men's environment.
And I love it because you took that knowledge and now you're translating it for women entrepreneurs. You're being a leader in your industry, and this is what this program is about.
Absolutely, absolutely. You have no idea how the need there is out there, especially in today's environment, in the economy, what's going on with the world. More and more the middle class is disappearing, and corporate America is not as lucrative as it used to be, especially if you're in a regular middle of the road type level. And I see a lot of people very frustrated. They're not making the kind of money they want to make. They don't have the freedom to do what they want to do. And so I've seen more and more people that are trying to leave their corporate job and start their own business, but they have no clue of how to do that. So that's where I came in. What happens is 3 years ago, I decided to retire from the company after 30 years. And for a while, I did take a year off, but then everybody was asking me, it's like, how did you do it? How did you do it? How can you help me? So that's how this developed. And now today, that's what I do. I help people start their own business after so many years in corporate America.
That's beautiful. So tell me, what is your definition of leadership?
My first thing with leadership is you have to be a good listener. And you also have to not only be a good listener, you have to be able to communicate well. Now, when I use an old saying that I used to do with my managers and my staff back then, the environment of the enterprise, it has to do with the leadership up there on top. So a good leader has to see the vision of the company, of the enterprise, of the project, whatever that is, and sort of get people to come along with it. Very important though, being a good leader, you want other people to succeed. You got to build leaders. You have to build your team. I don't know if I learned this. I think I learned to do it better over the years, but I remember as a child that I had to be the leader no matter what. So I had to be the one getting the good grades in the classroom. I also had to be, when it came to playing games, I'm the one that decided what plays we're going to get, we're going to play, and people had to follow me. So I don't know if I was just born with those genes, but pretty much that's my definition of a leader. And I really believe that a leader needs to use and encourage and empower other people. And it's really important, the engagement and how you treat people. And then people will follow you.
I remember that when we filmed your video, it was funny because you were like, I'm very competitive and I have to be the one that gets the straight A's. Like, I really had to make sure that I was a winner. How does that translate into the leader you are today?
Absolutely. Because of that competitiveness within my own self, I'm very focused, and you have to be very dedicated. But the most important thing, you have to be very persistent. Oh. Now, I've been told that I'm like a leaky faucet, because I keep persisting. I'm one of those that when I see an obstacle, I want to figure out, okay, how do I remove that obstacle? Or how do I break that wall? How do I go around it? The bottom line is get results. And that's what you're looking for.
How did you came about being an author and creating the books and this co-author project that I want to know more about. Can you tell me a little bit more?
Well, my first little play with writing was I was asked to co-author for a coaching book that was developed years ago. And I just did a small little chapter. And then I went ahead and I did an ebook, Powerful Women in the Modern World. It was mostly a little bit story about myself and how I ended up doing what I do today. And then just recently, I just finished a course, Prescription for Personal Breakthrough. And it's basically exactly what it is. It's going to teach you from A to Z how to start your business and how to make it into a passive income and be profitable in less than a year. And it starts with the idea of what is the idea. There's so many people out there that have no clue of what they want to do. Some do and some don't. But the important question to ask yourself is, what am I passionate about? And even though you may be passionate about that business, is that business going to make you the income that you're looking for? So you need to do a little bit of homework in the beginning and figure that out. But once you do, you can create the life of your dreams. You can create the business that can create the kind of income that's going to allow you to do what you want.
I know spirituality is very strong in what you do. Can you share with me how spirituality has enhanced your leadership?
Well, I've always knew that there's just this inner little self, and I think everybody calls it now intuition. You really have to trust your intuition. Your intuition is going to be correct if your thinking is correct. So the way I sort of know that my thinking is correct is I go with my feelings. So if I feel good and happy and relaxed, then I can trust my intuition. It's when your fear is a big failure for a lot of people, why they don't succeed and why they run into obstacles and why they really don't. They talk a lot about they want to get things done, but they don't really get to accomplish anything. They don't get to do whatever they wanted to do. But I really trust my intuition. I also believe in the law of attraction. That's very powerful for me. I do practice it. I've been practicing this probably without even knowing there was such a thing as law of attraction. And so when I want something, I go after it. And hey, I am persistent. Trust me, I'm totally persistent.
There's nothing getting, ahead of you. So in your opinion, what is one of the most important ingredients for people to be successful?
They need to be focused. They need to be dedicated. And they need to not give up. A lot of people give up too soon. And obviously there's a lot more qualities. Positive thinking is part of it. But it's a lot of people run the other way as soon as they hit a brick road or they hit an obstacle or whatever. You have to know what you want, and you have to know how to go about to get it, and you have to be dedicated, and you have to be persistent. And everything else will come. But you have to take action.
And now this prompts me to ask you, has there been any constant struggle in this journey to leadership, and what have you learned from it, if you have had any?
Oh, for sure. This last 30 years or so, I've had tons of struggles and things get in the way. As you recall, I told you that I was promoted the first female executive in the company. So back then, we're talking 30 years ago, not 30 years ago, but about 20 years ago when I first got promoted to that position, I was the first female in that position. But back then, it was very difficult to be in a men's environment. And the women in that position, in any type of high-level position, were not treated the same as men, unfortunately. So I've gone through quite a bit. My lesson to learn from this, get thick skin, don't give up, be persistent, and go for what you think is right.
I think one of the most important things that I want to get out of every person who I get to talk to is, what is their mission? What is it that you want to leave? Like, what is the kind of impact you want to live in the world?
Since I was a small child, I was born with this innate thing of, I've always been there, like, for the underdog. Like, I love animals, I love children, and I want everybody to be happy. And it's like, if they were happy, I was happy. And it was contagious. And I've had a great life. I can't say I have my ups and downs. We all do. But overall, if you look back, I've had a very great life. I had a lot of opportunities that a lot of people don't have today. And I want to use that opportunities and that knowledge and experience that I've gained to help others. If there's more people happy, if there's more people with joy, if there's more people doing great things in this world, imagine what this world would look like. And I don't know about you, because I think you do, you have children, so do I, and I'm also a grandmother. I want the world to be a better place for my kids and their kids. So I think the more we're all in sync of just helping each other, I really believe, and only because I read a lot, and there's one particular book that I love very much. It's called
Which is it?
The Science of Getting Rich.
Oh, I love that book.
By Wallace Wattles, and every time I read it, I get something out of it. And that book talks about abundance. There is enough room for all of us. In other words, you can have healthy competition, but you don't have to be competitive to hurt somebody because you want to be great. There is enough abundance. So as long as you have that vision, you have that thought, you take action, you're dedicated, there's enough room for everybody to be successful for whatever that is. For some people, it's money. For some people, it's more time at home. For some people, it's something else. But if everybody can be successful and be happy, what would this world be like?
The energy of the world would shift, and it would be so much
Absolutely.
more.
Because remember, the more in the
beautiful.
mass,
Yeah.
you can make a big difference.
Thank you so much, Mary, for being here.
It was a pleasure.
I love talking with you because you always have these awesome insights. And there is something that the first time we talked, when we were doing our brand discovery, I remember you saying that you were born to make a difference, and that you were going to act upon it because that was the only way you were going to be happy.
Yes.
When other people are happy. So it is your leadership that inspires this kind of work that we do. So thank you so much.
It was a pleasure, like always, seeing you.
Thank you.
And spending time with you.
Thank you. Thank you. So if you would like to know more about Maria Lecuyer, I invite you to visit her at marialecuyer.com. And for those of you who are leaders, or maybe you want to become a leader, or maybe you have a business and you want to position your brand as a leader in your industry, I invite you to visit us at forproductions.com. Please remember to subscribe, and in exchange, I will send you information on how to leverage the power of video to grow and make a bigger impact in the world.